Hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka. 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 Hakainde watitonda nadi, nchito ni kuyoboya waka, vila izgo vyose vya waka waka, kusuzgika kwa kura mwe bantu mwe nadi nadi. Hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka. 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 Wakati walina mahala, kono mahala yalinkulelo, tengo wofu wakwera muchanya sono, bakavu bakulira chitima bo, nadi nadi, nadi nadi, Hakainde watondeka nadi, watondeka. 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 Tiletelani nyali kuno kukaya, alundazi box one kanele, mundubile na munyake make bibiza na mama abrenda nyirenda simbi za Jelemani. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka. Hakainde watondeka, watondeka. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka. Hakainde luta luta, watondeka. Hakainde watondeka nadi, 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 watondeka. Hakainde.
Have been patient as Northwestern Province. We have been loyal. We have also been productive to this nation. We have come to the conclusion that our patience and our loyalty has not paid fruits. We are therefore at the moment very frustrated with what has been happening in the past 20 years. Our concern, therefore, is that we need to benefit from the investment that is currently in this province. As you are aware, we are hosting 3 big mines which are contributing immensely to the treasury of this country. But alas, there is very little to show, if any, in our province. We feel that the successful governments have not appreciated this province. I want to say that we haven't been very objective in the manner we have been voting. We haven't been voting based on deliverables. We have been voting based on relationships that do not benefit us, relationships that is stealing the future of our children. We wish to state that whilst the current government has implemented some mega projects in the other 9 provinces, our province has received nothing except recycled promises. Promises of a university teaching hospital where there was a groundbreaking, a promise on Mutanda, Kasempa, Kawoma, where there was a groundbreaking, a promise on Kipushi Road, Sorezi Kipushi Road, where there was groundbreaking. Over 5 years, there has been no implementation of these projects. We, the people of Northwestern Province, are desirous to see development in our province. And we have 6 key thematic areas of development that would want to engage anyone who has empathy and respects the people of Northwestern Province. And these key areas are: 1, the roads. And on the roads, we have Munirunga Jimbe Road, which we have collectively, as a province, prioritized. Then we have the University Teaching Hospital, which we think is our second priority. People here are suffering. People are coming from Chavuma, from Wikelengi, going to Indola for medical services. Some of our loved ones are dying in Indola, and we are facing challenges transferring bodies from Indola to various places in Northwestern Province. Then the university. We require a university. We have interest in the mining sector. We also have interest in the agricultural sector. We believe that we need to have statutory mechanisms that guarantees fixed percentages of mineral royalties, which should remain in the province in order to enhance, development in our
wa mwana mayo, fue na Sakanya, fue na Kasenga, fue na Mwelu, fue na Mpueto, fue na Luapula, bonse, mwapite vemba, mwapita lamba bonse, mubebe atiawe, fita tule vifwaya, shikulu, kafike nipo. Gamamo no muntu aisa mibe patio, inge ba kingero mkabe buino atio, kabe poko wa wisokulu, na ule kwa inkito shapa inkito yobe, inshitana iringa, inshita ya apuya. Ekyo na mie wapali nomba, tuimani le bonse pamu, ubukano bugufi, na kinge tuwa kwa tomweso, kinge tuwa wapali bonse pamu, ubuki ushibwakila, ekyo batemenwe, fiu mafiesu, na pali ya unkimo kyo batemenwe iyo, na wale minitela kotu no, ni ndala masheru, tendala mashamuntu, ni tundala masheru, sube kusheni tanchi, ushewalishwa pono kupenda, nishi valependa, valepende minue, yangu valependenshi. Echo na bilomba lelo, webana mayo, webena abana ba mayo bonse twali wa tuine pamo, tuileka abantu batuteike mu mfine yo, tulefa tufume muri ukudeta, takiringe tuasumina, kukana, mfumie po mwenso, pantu, ikialo mpuntanshi tuleya, miaka ya ona ipoa, kwa lifiama promesi.
Wonderful day that the Lord has made, and welcome to today's broadcast. This is a very crucial period, 16 days to go before Zambia holds its presidential, parliamentary and local government elections involving mayors, council chairpersons and ward councillors. So these 16 days will be very crucial. I've introduced a new aspect. We'll be having a 1-hour program in the morning to review events of the day anchored on what the newspapers will have reported and of interest of any other media in developing matter that is shaping the day and is reviewing the previous day. So we'll be having 2 broadcasts, one at 20 hours Zambian time and the other one between 7 hours and 8 hours to review what the papers say and the events that could have occurred overnight. And for the next 16 days, there'll be this crucial period. Tomorrow at 20 hours, I'll be joined by Chanda Kazia. He's former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labour. He's a labour expert. He's, in the last 5 years, is based in Canada. He's coming to speak to the plight of workers in this election. Is there messages targeted to workers? The government policy towards workers and the labor industry, because our people think that governments, subsequent governments, successive governments have always favored the employer over the employee, the person that employs than the worker. And the workers are in the majority, and in fact the workers shoulder the big burden. Look at the mining sector, a multi-billion-dollar industry, but the biggest contributor to the fiscus, to our domestic revenue, is not the mining sector. It is a worker who works in the mining sector, who's contributing up to $800 million in pay-as-you-earn and other tax deductions. How unfair is it over exploitation of national resources that the mine houses and mine owners go with billions of dollars, and the biggest contributor from the mining sector is not the employer, it's not the mining houses, it is the worker. So Chanda Kazia from Canada, who's a labor expert and a labor and industrial expert, who join me tomorrow as we review the issues of the day. I'll be inviting people to join me either early in the morning when we review the newspapers or later in the day, in the night, in the next 16 days. If you wish to be a guest, just get in touch with me. What are we discussing today? Today, I think we are focused on three major issues. The ballot paper dispatch crisis. There's been development from ECZ. We are discussing Kenneth Kamba. Why have they arrested him? Why are they fishing for old charges? Why have they bagged his phones? Why have they confiscated his phones? Why does he remain detained? Why should the state at this crucial period arrest the officer who's in charge of vote protection program? Is Kenneth Kamba. You've seen the various press conferences that they've had. He's the one that has been doing the expose regarding any issues, the electoral process, and I think they want to clamp down on him. And they are making false accusations. We'll discuss why Kenneth Kamba has been detained and part of the ploy to cripple the Munduvile tide that is coming like a wave of strong tide, and they want to stop that. They want to reduce that. But they also want to steal elections. You should never forget, at the heart of it is government's intention to steal the election. So we discuss the Kenneth Kamba saga, and then we'll be discussing the vote protection and any arising matter. The team is currently in Northwestern Province. They had this huge rally in Solwezi. Just look at it. So don't be selfish. Before we begin the program and before we delve into the program, there are many times when people, come on and say, but I didn't see the broadcast. No, Ambassador, what were you talking about today? Why? Because you are not sharing the broadcast. Kindly just go to the click button and share. If you're on YouTube, also subscribe so that we can reach as many people as possible. This is a crucial period in which Zambians are making fundamental decisions. So kindly share the broadcast. I want to delve into the program. I want to go detailed into the analysis of what is happening in our country. Kindly share the broadcast. Just click on that share. Allow others to watch with you. They've arrested Kenneth Kamba. Why have they arrested Kenneth Kamba? And someone already says, but you PF, you are your own enemy. Some of you are already condemning Kamba just the other day. And now he's arrested again, you're sympathizing with him. I always exercise caution. I always tell my colleagues that we should be very slow in condemning any of our colleagues. Kenneth Kamba has been at the center of one of the biggest programs that we've been crying about here. He's been tasked to ensure that the vote protection program takes off well. He's been coordinating the PVT program, the recruitment of personnel that will monitor elections, and also the coordination with the secretariat, his bosses, Celestine Mukandila and Zumani Zimba, and the other leadership. He's been very key in rushing to ECZ, ensuring that, with Celestine Mukandila, that we begin to register our monitors. The reason they've arrested him is to cripple him. They've been tracking him. We are aware that they've been tracking him, tracking his phones. And when he went to the airport yesterday, they picked him up and they've locked him away and they've thrown away the keys. This is similar to what they've done to the security detail of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. The idea was to strip them of those brave young men, to strip them of those boys that would usually confront the police or the party cadres on behalf of the leadership. So they stripped them and gave them the charge of armed robbery. And the young men, Black Apple and others, are now in Mwembeshi prison for no reason at all, charged with fake, falsified charges of armed robbery. They are aware that the boys didn't do any of that. In fact, what the police should have done is to arrest the UPND thugs that attacked Brian Mundubile and Makebi when they were coming from Chawama Parish. The thugs stoned, stopped, and attacked Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu's convoy. And you remember, it's a PF boys that, it's a security detail that rebuffed that security attack. And so the police just chose the people that are strong around Brian Mundubile and Makebi and threw them in jail and charged them with offenses that are armed robbery, offenses that are not bailable, so that they are kept away. And this is the abuse of the legal process we talk about. And after elections, you're going to see the DPP is going to issue a nole, while the boys will have been in detention without cause from May 2026. The attack on Kenneth Kamba is no different. They want to isolate him. He's our Deputy Secretary General in charge of vote protection. He's been the one that has been coordinating with our provincial chairpersons and district chairpersons to ensure that we recruit monitors. And with Celestine Mukandila and Zuma Nzimba, now they had gone to the second phase of registering these party agents that should monitor the elections. Kambazoro has also been at the center of collecting messages for us, understanding, it's like me. I have to understand what's happening in the enemy camp, because how else do you plan? How else do you strategize? You make the mistake of President Hakainde Hichilema, who thinks these are just boys that are disturbing him. He will think these are just boys of no consequence. And he thinks that they're a nuisance he can swat away. No, these are not just boys. This Mundubile is a presidential candidate. Is a presidential candidate that is likely to be president in the next 16 days. So it's just not one boy. Makebi Zulu is likely the vice president. So the threat they pose is real. He said Northwestern Province is his bedroom. He's right. Northwestern Province has been his bedroom, but he hasn't done in service to Northwestern Province. Northwestern Province, when Mazoka formed, Anderson Mazoka formed the UPND in 1998, do you know what he did? He launched it in Solwezi. He didn't want to launch it in Choma. He didn't want to launch it in Mazabuka or Livingstone. And his vice presidents were from Northern Province. He immediately knew that there was going to be an allegation that he was pushing a tribal agenda. At a stage, there was remnants of Humphrey Mulemba's party, National Party at the time. Teta Mashimba and others were members of parliament for National Party, because when they broke away from Frederick Chiluba in 1993, Bodwin Nkumbula, Akashamba Twambikusta, Humphrey Mulemba and others, they formed what was called the National Party. And that party had its roots strongly in Northwestern Province. And by 1996, it had been overtaken by Zadeko and other parties. The momentum it had come with. Remember the key figures like Emmanuel Kasonde, who was a finance minister, lost a by-election in Malole. So but by the time we're reaching 1996, the party had obliterated its influence. However, it remained strong in Northwestern Province. And UPND's launch was on the backbone, on the back of the National Party in Solwezi. And that is why President Hakainde Hichilema is saying it's a backbone. So UPND's biggest strength has always been Northwestern Province. There were changes by 2006 with Mwanawasa, the Bantu Botatwe issue came in, and some MPs went to MMD, some seats went to MMD, both Western Province and Northwestern Province, moving away from the UPND. Instead of voting for PF, which was the largest political party by 2006, they chose, because MMD was winning, MMD was on a resurgence with Mwanawasa, trying to shift the support he had from Northern Province, Luapula, Copperbelt, and Lusaka to take it to the Bantu Botatwe, Central Province, Copperbelt, Rural, and it targeted Northwestern, Western, and Southern Province. So if you look at the elections in 2006, where Mwanawasa won re-election, the UPND became a small marginal party. It had 24 seats, mostly in Southern Province. This is where the Gary Nkombos, the Jack Mwimbu, and others came in. MMD got some seats in Western Province, the Musokotwanes, if you remember, Musokotwanes and others, and Northwestern Province. And PF took over the areas where the MMD was strong in Northern and Luapula Province, Copperbelt and Lusaka by 2006. But 2008, 2011, the UPND still began to get support. When PF won elections in 2011, most of the people didn't now vote for MMD. There were MMD, remember MMD had 53 seats as at 2011, the bulk of them coming from Western Province, coming from Eastern Province, coming from Northwestern Province. And SATA won Muchinga, Northern, Luapula, Copperbelt, and Lusaka. Eastern went to MMD, parts of Northwestern and some parts of Central Province, some parts of Western Province. UPND remained largely a strong political party in Southern Province. By 2016, UPND reclaimed, because MMD now was a carcass for sharing. So Mr. Sata began to forage into Eastern Province and I think appointed 7 deputy ministers from MMD. He began to forage in the MMD territory and got the support from Eastern Province. For Hakainde Hichilema, he now got Northwestern, Western and Southern Province. And the UPND now grew once again with the death of MMD, which was now a carcass shared between PF and UPND. So when you see the boys go into Northwestern Province is crying. Let me play the Newton Samakai, who's been a senior member of the UPND, one of the longest member of parliament, has held a press conference yesterday and tabulated. He says, we've made mistakes in the past. Our voting has been terrible. We vote on personal and tribal loyalties instead of a president that can develop our country. And he says, look at Northwestern Province. They hold the largest mines in Africa, the largest copper and gold mine. Kansanshi Copper and Gold is one of the biggest producers of official gold in our country. Kalumbila, owned by Barrick Gold, and the new gold mines that have sprung up, whether it's in Kasempa, whether it's in Mwinilunga. Northwestern Province is even going to overtake, looking at the immense wealth it has, it has almost overtaken the copper belt. It has, in fact, because look at the production of copper on the copper belt. Luansha mine is limping. Nkana mine, where Wanda Mopani, they are limping. Konkola mine and Konkola deep project. And then we have this Mingomba and other new projects. So copper belt is on the decline. The largest production is coming from those 2 key the major mines in the mines run by Barry Gold and First Quantum. And Newton Samakai is asking, what have you done? The first mine opened in 1998 under Dr. Frederick Chilua when they reopened Kansanshi, and First Quantum also began exploration. It took 10 years into production, and the production came to. Let's listen to Samakai as I take this call.
We have been patient as Northwestern Province. We have been loyal. We have also been productive to this nation. We have come to the conclusion that our patience and our loyalty has not paid fruits. We are therefore at the moment very frustrated with what has been happening in the past 20 years. Our concern, therefore, is that we need to benefit from the investment that is currently in this province. As you are aware, we are hosting 3 big mines which are contributing immensely to the treasury of this country. But alas, there is very little to show, if any, in our province. We feel that the successful governments have not appreciated this province. I want to say that we haven't been very objective in the manner we have been voting. We haven't been voting based on deliverables. We have been voting based on relationships that do not benefit us, relationships that is stealing the future of our children. We wish to state that whilst the current government has implemented some mega projects in the other 9 provinces, our province has received nothing except recycled promises. Promises of a university teaching hospital where there was a groundbreaking, a promise on Mutanda, Kasempa, Kawoma, where there was a groundbreaking, a promise on Kipushi Road, Sorezi Kipushi Road, where there was groundbreaking. Over 5 years, there has been no implementation of these projects. We, the people of Northwestern Province, are desirous to see development in our province. And we have 6 key thematic areas of development that would want to engage anyone who has empathy and respects the people of Northwestern Province. And these key areas are: 1, the roads. And on the roads, we have Munirunga Jimbe Road, which we have collectively, as a province, prioritized. Then we have the University Teaching Hospital, which we think is our second priority. People here are suffering. People are coming from Chavuma, from Ikelengi, going to Ndola for medical services. Some of our loved ones are dying in Ndola, and we are facing challenges transferring bodies from Ndola to various places in Northwestern Province. Then the university. We require a university. We have interests in the mining sector. We also have interest in the agricultural sector. We believe that we need to have statutory mechanisms that guarantees fixed percentages of mineral royalties, which should remain in the province in order to...
Thank you very much. Newton Samakai, the one who's speaking, is a renowned parliamentarian. I met him in when I was ambassador in South Africa, when he came to the African Parliament. He's a very vocal leader. He defends Northwestern Province. Remember, he was one of the earlier voices that said the model of CDF was not working. First, most of the money was withheld. Remember, at one time last year, to control his obsession, the obsession of control of circulation by Msokotwane and Den Kariari. I know they practice very archaic type of both monetary and fiscal policies. So they believe there should be no money in circulation, and they believe that therefore then they can control inflation. So they mopped up all CDF money. Instead of sitting at the council, they said the councils will require that the money can only be released when the projects are ready, certification has been done. So the money was mopped up from all district councils and it was taken to the central bank. And you remember that Brendan Urenda said it's not working. There are times many projects have been done, certificates have been issued, and we are waiting months for our contractors to be paid, yet they claim that the money is at the central bank. Newton Samakai was one of the early voices in the UPND who said the model of CDF was not working in the manner it was being implemented. So he's been a critical voice. So recently, last month, President Hakainde Hichilema accused him of voting for Bill 7. And remember, he fired Gary Nkombo and the Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise and the Minister of Health, Elijah Muchima. And he accused them of having voted for Bill 7, including Newton Samakai. Newton Samakai challenged the president to show proof that he had voted against Bill 10, Bill 7, or he had stayed away from voting for Bill 7. The president repeated on the podium. So now it became a pitted battle that who is telling the truth, the president or Newton Samakai? Being a principled man he decided to resign a few weeks ago from the UPND. And today, he's issued that strong statement that Northwestern Province has been looking for a leader. Remember, they tried Mwanawasa, they tried Rupia Banda, they've tried Michael Sataid Galungu, and they supported almost 100% seats to UPND. What has UPND done in the last 5 years? And he has enumerated, other than the wealth that the province provides to the country, I think priority should also be done, especially to critical areas. That is Newton who was speaking and was welcoming Brian Munduvile that Northwestern Province is ready to test, is ready to reach out to new leadership, that they've been voting based on personal relations, tribal affiliations, or Chimboya. And he says now it's time to vote for a leader that will deliver not just Zambia, but to deliver Northwestern Province. And that appears to be Brian Munduvile, according to Newton. And the people of Solwezi have heard to the message from Newton Samakai and his friend. And look at the turnout that they gave. Would you believe that this is an opposition rally in Solwezi? government has just announced that the country has lost the permanent secretary in Southern Province, Dr. Namani Monze. Dr. Namani Monze is a medical doctor by profession and he's worked in the civil service for some time. He was currently a permanent secretary in Southern Province, and is, you know, in at these senior levels, he's quite young. He's 52. We've lost him, and government has announced the death of Dr. Namani Monze. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and our condolences to his family, and our condolences to President Hakainde Hichilema and to the Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa over the loss of this very key official in Southern Province, who was permanent secretary in Southern Province, Dr. Namani Monze. We mourn with the family, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. In other matters, before we go to the issue of ECZ, the Lusaka High Court, Honorable Judith Ruth Mbambi, has warned that she will revoke the bail granted to former Lumezi Member of Parliament, Munia Zulu. Remember, Munia Zulu is in the campaign, thick of the campaign trail, and is in Northwestern Province. Munia had appealed against the sentence that was given to him by Lusaka Senior Resident Magistrate Trevor Kasanda. This is the one, you know, when he issued statements against Stumbeko Musokotwane. The biggest defense that Munia had was that statement was issued in the precinct of Parliament. And the laws before Bill 7 required that you cannot be prosecuted if you've issued for a parliamentarian, if they issue a statement within the precinct of Parliament. So he had appealed to that, but the matter has been overtaken by subsequent events. Number one is that Munia Zulu has since served his terms and he was released, but I guess he wants that record of conviction expunged. That's why he has appealed. But there's a threat that his bail can be revoked. Let's go to ECZ. The Electoral Commission of Zambia has just issued a statement that the ballot papers will arrive tomorrow on 29th July 2026 at 09 hours. And ECZ is advising all stakeholders to be there at 8 hours and to obtain accreditation from ECZ, especially for the arrival at the airport. And then they've stated that they are scheduling Saturday, 1st August 2026 for stakeholders to go and inspect and verify these ballots at the ECZ Silverest warehouse at 9 hours on Saturday. So they're saying both the media and stakeholders must get certification for both the process of verifying and these ballots on Saturday, 1st August 2026. But the ballots will arrive tomorrow, Wednesday, 29th July 2026. Now, this is just a first consignment. Remember, they talked about 6 consignments that are supposed to come, the combination of various consignments. What we have is just confusion from ECZ. They had announced dispatch last Friday and that the first consignment will arrive in our country on Sunday and subsequent days. And the dispatch should be in lots of 6 consignments. So, but the first batch arrives tomorrow. There are a lot of concerns because there have been repeated reports that there was a parallel printing process taking place in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, and someone was trying to sneak in these ballots so that they, form part of pre-marked ballots for the UPND to rig the elections. It's a very alarming report, and I think that this is it. You've not done very well to dampen or put to the issue this serious concern and the suspicion, especially when they keep on changing what should be when the country will receive the ballot papers. Remember yesterday I was saying there are new concerns, the concerns around that they were trying to get another plane from Turkey. Why, when you are in Dubai at the hub of all planes in the world, you are there, why are you getting a plane from Turkey? Why is the name of First Quantum in these processes coming up? What is it that you're doing? And I'm glad that our technical team remained, and they are assuring us that they are checking every batch. And today they inspected the last batch that has gone to the warehouse of the airport. So tomorrow, Wednesday, 29th July 2026, at 9 hours, the ballot papers will arrive in the country. But this is just the first consignment. It's just the first consignment. I'll be opening the phone lines. We put it max at 2 hours. The 3 hours is extremely taxing, especially that we'll be having another broadcast early in the morning between 7 hours and 8 hours. Elo apa nangunine kafwa nshila chita employee kafwa munandi who can help me in these critical times. So we'll be opening the phone lines, and so that we can take as many calls as possible. You breathe, you speak to the issue that you wish to speak to, and that then we close the broadcast within 2 hours. Tomorrow we are privileged. We are having a special guest, Chanda Kazia, a labor and industrial expert. He will speak on the welfare of workers in this election. Is there a message for workers from presidential candidates? And what should the new government do in relation to labor policy? We have policies that favor more the employer, that has introduced casualization, that has abolished permanent employment other than in government. What can be done? So Chandakazia comes in, he gives us that perspective in these election campaigns, and he analyzes for us what the suffering of a Zambian worker, also the role of the employer and the role of government which crafts these policies. He had the great opportunity that he was in the thick of things as permanent secretary at Ministry of Labor. Sometimes we have the conduct of the commissioner, a labor commissioner, who is always accused of siding with employers. The minister is always accused of siding with the Chinese instead of siding with the workers. So Chandakazia will come tomorrow, and you help us. The phone lines are open. You can now call. We seem to have our first caller. Caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us and make your contribution.
My name is Isaac. I'm calling from Chirundu.
Isaac, make your contribution.
I wanted to find out, like, if you make a comparison with the 21 2021 elections, how was the schedule like in comparison with what is happening, where the ballot papers are coming in batches? Because that sends a very alarming situation on our part as people who are voting for these 2026 elections. I just want you to shed more light, like what is the thing behind this? And because it's sending a shiver amongst Zambians that it's like there is a big fear on government in not doing the right thing, because they're not giving the ample constitutional right for us Zambians to vote for these coming elections. Because there's no way you can receive ballots on, like as you explained, on 29th. Then on Saturday they have this whatever accreditation, whatever they want to have by the warehouse. It doesn't add anything like on the part of transparency. It's like government is not doing the right thing, especially the ECZ. They are mocking Zambians. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please call. The lines are open. Share the broadcast so that if you have something to say, you can say it. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is Muvita from Cafe.
Muvita, make your contribution.
Ambassador, I would like to concur with the statement by Mr. Samakai. Really, Northwestern Province has been stagnant in the past 5 years of the UPND. They have received, if anything, if not very little, almost nothing from the government cake. That province was supposed to have been developed by now, but in these 5 years, it has been a sheer waste of time, really, by the UPND. I really concur with the statement by Mr. Samakai. We really need to do something for that province. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Please call. Let's hear from you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yeah, good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Name of Mutale, Alex.
Mutale Alex, make your contribution.
Ambassador, thank you very much for this opportunity. My concern is the arrest of Kenneth Kamba. I'm bringing this issue of Kenneth Kamba because Kenneth Kamba has been given a mandate as Deputy Secretary General for the mobilization, for the vote protection of the party or the opposition, the largest opposition, to counter this year's election. You can tell that all this, what they're doing right now, is to destabilize, is a process of rigging. And they're not doing it smartly. They're doing it in a mafia and rude and militia group way. So I just want to condemn the arrest of Kamba. There's nothing else. There are no charges here. If they are, they're trying to cook some charges against him. But the main issue, this is the guy who is in charge of voter protection. Because remember, on this forum, we have been singing and we have been talking. Everybody in this in our country, we have been singing of protection of the votes. So they're trying to weaken it from that point. But I want to appeal to everyone who's listening that this time around we'll do like they say, citizen arrest. The citizens, they should take it. They should take it upon themselves to make sure that this election is protected. Because if you're seeing what HH is doing, he has got no message. It's very embarrassing that you have the head of state who is supposed to be speaking issues as the head of state, but he's speaking as if he's in opposition, because you know that this man has never been a president. He always think like he's in opposition, and therefore his campaign has got nothing. He has come out very thuggery, has come out very limit, whichever, in all negative way. So I'm urging the Zambians to protect, even as they are going to verify these votes. These are ballot papers. They should be on top of things. they should be on top of things. Otherwise, this is a beginning. We saw how ZNS has aligned itself, that they want to be transporting some ballot papers. There are a lot of stories anyway, but I'm urging all Zambians to be alert, to make sure that we protect these elections. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The lines are open. Make the phone call, make your contribution, and share the broadcast. We are discussing various issues. An update from ECZ on the arrival of the first batch that will arrive tomorrow at 9 hours. And we are also discussing the arrest of Kenneth Kamba. It's a ploy to cripple Brian Munduwile's team, like they've done with the security team. Now they've gone to his secretarial staff. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador, good evening. This is Patrick calling from England.
Yes, my dear brother. Make your contribution.
Mine is just to concur what Honorable Samakai said. Ambassador, there was a point I stayed in Northwestern Province in a place called Mumbeji. And that's the time when they were doing, I think, the explorations for us. That must be Kalumbila mine. And when Mr. Sata said he was going to visit the mining place, there was a lot of work that were done within a short period of time just to impress the president, who was going to visit the place. And the place looked a little bit different in that Chief Mosele's area. So my point is, what the province has lacked is the caring leadership. You know, if there was a president who was going to be speaking on behalf of the people and ensure that these mining firms pay as much as they are getting from the provinces, chances that the province cannot be the same as it was, as it has been for pretty many years. So it's just an encouragement to the boys that the people of Northwestern Province have opened doors for them, and that support they gave them, they shouldn't take it for granted. They are supposed to wait for them when they get into office on the 13th of August and ensure that they deliver on most of the promises that they have given to them. I'm sure Mr. Munduwiile was there. He said he was at the Kikonge Primary School, and that school has remained in that shape for a long time. Definitely it needs an upgrade. And also the hospital that they talked about, that's a must, because I remember that time I stayed in that area, people used to go to those little mine hospitals, mine clinics, to access at least some good quality health care. So it's just a challenge to the two boys that the task that they have ahead of them is very humongous, and they have to ensure that they deliver to the people of Northwestern Province. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. We have another caller on standby. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, this is Joe Muntali, Mr. Honorable Mwamba. How are you?
Very well, Mr. Muntali. Tell us.
Yeah, we are just to speak arrested of Kennedy Kamba, the same as the previous caller said. You know, there's too much injustice in this government. So please, I'm talking through this platform to urge all Zambians, let us unite. We'll do citizen arrest surely to guide our votes, because what they are planning is to leak the election. But the Zambian people, they don't want this government to continue. So they cannot force the Zambian people. So what they're supposed to do, it is just to do fair election. People, let us choose their leaders through their will, not oppressing. No. So that is only my contribution. Thank you, Mr. Honorable Mwamba.
Thank you very much. The boys in Northwestern Province. They made a grand entrance and they held one of the biggest rallies that has been held in the province. We are discussing that development. I gave you a bit of history of Northwestern Province so you can call and contribute. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Daniel calling from Cape Town.
Hey, Daniel, make your contribution.
I just want to speak to what
Daniel, you are muted. Daniel, you are muted. Uh-oh, Daniel, you are muted. We can't hear you. I can see you are muted. Maybe we'll allow Daniel to call again. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba Nyangwediani on the line here. I won't take much of your time, but Fonse Village Taba Mwamba Maka ya kwa Mesa. Place Billy. Mwale leta, tien tukumane pamo ba opposition, tien tuombele chapamo. Ba Mwamba mone na maka ya kwa lesa within
Oh, Dan, please go back. I don't know why Dan is also cutting. Let me check my network. It could have gone on mobile and maybe disconnected itself from... let me just check. It could have disconnected itself from Starlink. Because why is the network cracking? Okay. Dan, please call back. Dan Sinyangwe from Canada is our regular caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, this is Davis Kafla. I'm calling from Kasama, Northern Province.
Davis, make your contribution.
Hello?
Yes, Davis, make your contribution.
Yes, it is very difficult. Yes, I'm saying, Mr. Mwamba, are you able to get me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Over the issue of the arrest of Mr. Kamba, it is a very disappointing side story. But according to my thinking, the UPND, they are just trying to frustrate the boys. You can see their rhetoric behavior in Copper Belt. We have seen what they have done, their cadres they have done today as our people are entering Solwezi. They have broken some of the vehicles. This is how the UPND have been trying to lead the election. By first and foremost trying to frustrate our campaign team. Not only that, by reducing the number of people for the for our campaign. And the only thing I can advise the Zambians is that we should put in prayer the campaign team, our President Brian Mundivire and his running mate, and ensure that we follow your discussion on certain critical things on voter protection, so that once we vote, we secure the votes at the polling station. Thank you, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you. Indeed, even if they arrest Kamba, they should understand that the vote protection will be done by the community itself. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you, Mwamba Verified again. Can you get me win of your number?
Emkwa, yeah, you were cracking up and I didn't know why.
I know, yeah. I'm so sorry, yeah. Ofula chanda ba Mwamba tien konkanye pofionso fyo bantu balelanda. Number 1, voter protection number. Ba Mwamba, tien again the most important thing. Mule mwana ofyo lesa ale womba. Maka ya kwa lesa ya. Tien konkanye pofyo ukupepa. Ukupepa fye mwe bantu mwonsa wale omfabene Zambia. Ifina chilembeka kale nalesa nasala kale muneni ba Mwamba kusolo ku Northwestern. Every province that Makebi and Mundiwe have gone to, it's not just the will of the people, but it is the hands of God upon what is happening. Let us continue praying. All is going to be well, and let us protect our votes. God bless Zambia and God bless you, Mwamba. Thank you.
Thank you. Danny from Canada. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Malta. Call me Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yeah, just a quick one. It's sad over the arrest of Mr. Kamba, but now my thinking is that I'm sure they're trying to do everything possible just to gather information from him on the strategy of how the opposition is trying to do it in terms of voter protection. So I would really want to know, like, if they pin him down and then he exposes the strategy, then what happens? And then the other concern, I just saw later this evening on social media that the president will also be going for a second round in Northwestern province where Nduvire is. So I'm thinking now to say what's happening again. So that's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let your calls come in. Let's keep on making your calls to come in. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
It's Daniel from Cape Town.
Sorry, Daniel. You got cut. Please make your contribution.
Yes, I was saying I wanted to speak to these so-called content creators, average Takatama video clips, where I saw this one where Honorable Makebi was saying of how they... Hello?
Yes. Oh. We can hear you.
Yes, so... the narrative they are pushing is to cut the clips where they pick a certain narrative like is speaking negatively. So abantu mwirabo fuirama video yabade putula. There is a continuation to it. I think I saw this young man called Ken Dumbo when Honorable Makebi was saying we are going back to how we were led by ECL. Yes, we are going back to how we were led by ECL because Takwadi Ugufi, the current president, needs to be Pakatondo Street. He speaks like a person who's in the streets, where today he says this, tomorrow he says that. That is not the type of a leader that we need in State House. For lack of a better term, it's not even in State House. We want a leader who leads, who mutishinga, ukulande fintu village, tikanoti ababa abufi. And for some of us, we are already not to fika padevo ya inauguration. Hapaturi we are planning inauguration. Yeah, Honorable Munduvide. We are past the FIFA propaganda and everything. So at the moment, even the people that are speaking to voter protection, yes, we need that one. But me personally, I'm already past that. There's another Pishakari. Honorable Munduvide is going to State House and Makebi will be the Vice President. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, this is a known mass calling from the other side of the moon. 2 points or 3 points. Number one, Samaka is very right. What do the miners leave us after they finish digging all the minerals? Polluted rivers and undevelopable deep holes that we can't use anymore. So the people of Northwestern Province have got the ultimate right to ask for compensation upfront. Number two, nobody's talking about the Kafue pollution. That should be an election issue. Nobody has raised the issue of that the slime dam that spilled into the Kafue. We're all quiet about that. Is everything okay after that? After the fact? The leader's been put on that issue and nobody is saying anything about it. Not even our so-called opposition. Number three, and lastly, I must commend the lady from Kaputa for teaching me a few Bemba idioms and the richness of the Bemba language. That's all I have to say. But
Bamayo Vadiava Kwakaputa Valalande Chibemba. I admire her. She should be my teacher.
No,
she speaks, she can speak. Yeah, she speaks policies, she speaks issues without any word of English. You know, there are very few people that can speak that fluent Bemba on technical issues. I'm glad that you have noticed that. Mayokwa puta tumeni mwamo na bantu bamchita comment. You see, I'm struggling to find the word bamchita comment. She doesn't use any of those words.
But you're doing a good job, and let's keep an open eye, and let the winner win, and let's see how it goes. But you're doing a good job as a...
Thank you for raising the issues and the issues of the poisoning of Kafue and river is a serious matter, and I would like it also to be in the forefront of our debate. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Right, thank you. This is Anonymous calling from Kafue.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Thank you. It's my first time to make my contribution on an EMV, and
I
appreciate for this. I just want to have a message from the NRPUP. What is the message do they have for the schools? The number, thousands of them that were, I don't know whether have been abandoned or been neglected by the current regime. As far as I'm concerned, that all the previous regimes has been there for all these southern community schools up to 2021, when we've seen the drastically change on why the government has went quiet, has stopped helping the community schools, not even offering the trainings and the workshops up to now. So what is the message of hope for these community schools with the NLPU, the government of Namunduvire? What do they going to say, or are they going to restate back the policy of the government and community schools? Because as far as that is now, community schools are really suffering. They are being abandoned. They are dead. They need somebody who can come and restate them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Mr. Mwamba, my name is Nak. I'm calling you from Lusaka.
Nak, make your contribution.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sure most of the people that are listening to this verified live, the people that I've got friends as well who may be on the fence, and there's a message that the UPND have been putting across, saying we can't go back to those people. But look, the PF was in power. That was in 2021, right? And then after 2021, the UPND won. I think we had a lot of problems. We had the dollar going up 28, almost reaching 30. Fuel went up. We had load shedding and what. So what I'm trying to say is, when somebody comes with a message of, do you want us to go back? It goes back to the same people that are ruling us. The things that they made us go through just recently. So we can't jump to the things that happened, Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba, just during the 4 years or 5 years that they've been in power, so that we start talking about the things before 2021. I don't think that makes sense. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Yeah. I hope I'm making sense, because, I mean, we can't talk about things. You know, it's much that we should go and talk about the things first when we had all these things that came. So we should be scared, actually, of the things that we went through, you know, and them twisting what the vice president was saying at a rally, where he was saying, I mean, we first of all, he was talking about the prices of things. He was talking about fuel. He was talking about the electricity, the amount that we are paying. And he says we can't live like this. We'll go back to when Balung was keeping us, when things were affordable. So all these things that all these people that are saying no, they want us to go to violence. At the same rally, they addressed the issue of violence and said, no ways, we are going back to Qatarism. There will be no Qatarism anywhere, in the offices, as well as on the streets. So I just want to encourage the people that are listening to this podcast, and those that are able to comment on social media. I think when anybody tries to come up with a message of saying, do you want to go back? The answer is no, we don't want to go back to load shedding. We don't want to go back to the high prices of fuel. We don't want to go back to the crisis of maize that we went through. Because right now, the maize that they've announced, the FRA, they're only buying 500,000 metric tons a million, which the people themselves grew that maize because they wanted to find something. But at the end of the day now, they won't be able to even sell that maize. So it means that we are in a very, very deep crisis. I think that's what I wanted to contribute to.
Thank you very much. Clearly, you are right. The UPND has a record of 5 years. To keep on reminding Zambians to the issue of PF, the people are saying, why are you skipping the last 5 years? What have you done in the last 5 years? Tell us, show us, demonstrate. But, you know, and the people are not forgetting the load shedding crisis. The people are not forgetting the high cost of living that has jumped from 8,000 to 12,400. The people are not forgetting, you know, the persecution, human rights abuses. So speaking about the PF in this period doesn't make sense, because now you have a record of 5 years where people can check you on how much have you borrowed in the last 5 years. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and make your contribution.
Yes, I'm calling from Lusaka. My name is Jolo. I've got two issues, and you can feel free to interject as I speak.
No, please speak.
Number one, I would like to say that the entire political class truly has been a disappointment in the last 16 years. And for so many reasons. Number one, for the lack of direction and lack of consistency. And I don't mean this only for the UPND, unfortunately. I mean from both sides of the aisle, if we are looking at this election realistically, from the two options we have. I mean from those in government and even the opposition. And one of the ways we can see that the political class isn't great is that when we look at, for example, Sinometers, the Sinometers disaster should be a central election topic. It should be an electability issue. We still have no idea why that happened, how it happened, what the consequences will lead to over the next 10 years. Are there any health risks the country is facing? Because that is the main water artery. I mean, the Kafue River, what happens to the water tables here. But for me, it's really disappointing from both sides, mainly from the UPND, who are in government, who showed the lack of leadership. Sinometers even went on to win another contract. How embarrassing. But also from the opposition, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's not a main issue on the campaign trail. The whole of last week, the opposition and the president were on the copper belt. And none of them seemed to focus on that very important matter. And really, we have to think about how our political parties are financed, for me, because we need to know where they're getting their money. For me, I would suspect that maybe Sinometers is funding either or both of the parties, because how can you not make that an issue? Number two, like the last caller alluded to, you can't be in power. You can't form the executive for 5 years, and every time you're asked a question, you refer back to the peers. On top of that, you create a situation where, in fact, the UPND just fell short of calling the peer the devil. Every single thing, there is no good thing the PS did according to the UPND, not one. But then, you are announcing that you're in an alliance with the same peer. I mean, what kind of ridiculous? How foolish do you think the Zambian people are? At the same time, on the other side, Simba Kamwili is joining the opposition party. Now, Simba Kamwili, we had a recording of him calling the bank government. Is that not an issue for the opposition? Why are you inviting this man who seems to have no consistency, who jumps from one party to the other whenever it suits his agenda? So for me, I think we really need to have, and I don't know if you are still a politician, Sam, but I think those of you who are in the political class, you need to take a hard look in the mirror. Because for Zambia to move forward, we need some backbone within our leadership, some consistency in direction. Now, hopefully this coming election, we are switching who the executive will be. But even as we are reluctant in switching, what are we switching to? Because I guarantee you, 2 months, 3 months after the election, we are going to see people defecting to the new executive. People ridicule each other. People who are on completely opposing and irreconcilable views now are suddenly holding hands and singing merrily. So, for me, I am concerned for the entire country because even though we are switching, hopefully, I don't think we are truly moving forward in the right direction because really what the political class have shown us is that they do what's convenient for them at that point in time. I think that's my contribution, Mr.
Thank you very much. We please call. Caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Bamunkonge mwabombeni, London poyama. Very clear.
Ichakubalira po first ndelanda congratulations kuli Barbara Banda na timu pakuya omaba Egypt 6-0 jishwe inoshitani mbina ifkaka na 7-0 echirera ngokweba churugutore tena arungira kali mchalo epashiri pabreka bakashana abantu muruguto nomba ambassador chakubalira po first ndefo kurata bali ba kamba ba Kennedy mwisakamana sana bakamboko mulile sajina ipwe lelo ndefo okusoka kwa abantu batatu bachirufya tayari birimo bambiretera nabo mubombana bena bonse ababa abepo obufipa amafoni batawa kawanya naba Collins naba mwitwa nangumwa stari pochu kweba tyo ikateni Kenneth bakweba tupange mingara tota mwapange vyafire fili wa Kennedy na tukwata abachirirepo abenga fika na 50 nga murefa mukare ikatachira kushuku bantu mwa stari poti kuri ba boss benu kweba tyo bachirusha tayari mumwe aisa murepera mari poti ati mingara to sheso tasha bombe fes kabye ni mumwe ikatekene jero romba tubombe nangu mumwe ikete mureposa venshita baro no kufuma refuma murefa kutumwa musunga na mairo bakabika pombi naye na muke kate kwa shara 16 days na tukwata limbya bali 30 murefa mwambi okubekata 1 by 1 chira bushkumwa ikata pomo yaba 14 days mwa ikata pomo 13 days apo murefa hachi pa open bachirusha tayari na ba Cornelius mwitona batawo kawana tyo ikateni nani kane keni pakwe batiminga to shibombe ndemyebe kinene chinga tasha bombere sangararanda nishinalanda ro mwimona kwa tirimbi bafe mulechita kwa tirimbi fira fisama kulilesa fwe bantu ngato afukamina kulilesa lyonsara sokorole fini so mureposa vene nshitabo bakeni mwasenda leo ina report mwa ile pera ba tayari kuri ba boss beno atyo kekateni nani keni pako bati mbombe wino bachirufya tamwa bombe tapali noko mulero ra imwe bena Kristo mwalishwa na maka ya kwa lesofa ya bobba ambassador chimbi chintu ndeko selesha community okukosa po mukupanga vote protection no ya after voter bafuire barolera ama vote sero na ama ba comedians aba bakuchipancheso ambeni kupanga ko committee yakoeba abantu bakana yanga bavota pakwe bati mindset issue yakoeba bati ukushikuba ama vote site kwafe mukubika mu uronde vote yobe ambassador na pelera papene timwapera kona bana chance imbara wele each time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Remember what we said, that we'll be having 2 broadcasts in a day, one at 7 hours and the other one at 20 hours. So the broadcast will not be going as, the way we've been going 3 hours. So we have these 3 topics. Make your contribution before we close this part of the broadcast, and then we'll invite you to our What the Papers Say in the morning. someone has made a notice to me. He says, Ambassador, I've heard that what the other caller was saying. The correct position is that President Hakainde Hichilema is going on a second campaign tour in Western Province. He's going to Mlobezi, Mwandi, Sesheke, Sioma, Shangombo, Senanga, Nalolo, and Limulunga between 30th and 31st July 2026. So he's not going to an area where the boys are at the moment. Thank you for that clarification. But it's just someone who has sent me that urgent message. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Mwamba Mabombeni, no, by Nameless. Yeah.
By Nameless, make your contribution.
From the AI. Thank you so much. Then, Fuika.
Mkwai.
Okay, na totela. Anyway, Mwamba, yeah, it's sadly going. Elo bonsi to the fiaba bulanda. Kuinga na nephew nanda yonse. Mr. Ambassador, we are left with very few days to go. Yeah, and the elections, the election anxiety is real. Things like that. Yeah. There will be a lot to experience. And the situation is escalating, Bamwamba. Yeah, it's so sad to hear that, people who we think would try and protect and give us the good information are being taken in. And I know very well that a lot, will be actually taken in, because this is the only way, elections could be rigged. The Ambassador, I urge your team and the all meaningful Zambians, to try and do everything to protect the votes. We know very well that elections are already won. Mwamba. And, this is the truth of the matter. Our concern falls more on vote protection. Anything could be talked about because, we've been talking about problems, we've been talking about all the negativities, but at this point of time, to vote protection, Hello too, eponshila putula. Na chumfa kwa brother bamo abachilisha nyakosana ukwebati why most of these politicians move from one place to the other place. Bafuma more like Bakambwiri. In Zambia it has become like a fashion. And what we should know is we are dealing with the same people who have been in MMD, people who have been in UPND, people who have been in PF. They are always the same people. So these people, they tend to actually circulate. But we don't have to really condemn. We also need people who can talk loudly. Bakambwiri knows how to push. Balekeni watu wafweko. Mwira ilishanya sana. Ijofikesa chitika after elections. Ero tukala alandapo. As it is now, let's just concentrate on vote protection. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Good evening.
Thank you. Yes, my contribution will just be on
who's calling?
Protection. Anonymous as usual.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Okay. So I concur with the caller that mentioned about having more space on social media for our comedians, those that have got followings on social media. I think there's need for our party to invest or even the airspace, like on radio. We need people that can be speaking, even as the president is out there with the team on the Larrys. But at least there are people that need to be assigned, that they should have more spaces on radio. With this time that has left, I think there's need for us to be advertising more on social media. Maybe there are people that have huge following. Yeah, those that have got huge following and they are supporters of our party. I'm sure those they need to much advertise and to put in the messages across that it can be heard. Then about Kenneth Kamba's arrest, it's so sad for us, but again, this is what the UPND has been doing. And for sure, they're trying to get something from him, maybe to review, to know how they can protect the votes and everything. So we just pray that as we are, we just be united, that each and everyone can actually protect the votes. Like here where I am in my constituency at my polling station, we have a group. We already made a group to say we'll be there from the first until the last vote is counted. So we just made a group to say we'll make sure that we help out and to make sure that we count all the votes. And also we are keeping record of how many people registered at our polling station. And also we communicated with other polling stations in our constituency to see if the numbers will be tallying, to say we have this number registered voters at our polling station and this is how many votes were casted and this was scored and everything, so that we'll be able to tally. That's just a group that we created.
Wonderful. Wonderful. The message is reaching out. I wish many could do what you have done. Well done, dear sister. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Nawela, Ambassador Ndande Popali West, Northwest. Ambassador chintu chachitika chintu chikulu sana. Fuire tu atotera na leso mwino wa makayonse. Ba makepzuru ba Brian Mundubirele sabasungi omukendi. Ba Ambassador mwarikokola sana okumona echaro cheso mu chapter mu politics no kwishwa ma history. Napa ikalire Northwest desa naranda chishinkera itina lisanika. All after the new government, Western province, when Northwestern yofo yaraba, na fwe na Zambia fwe bakasekera mo tukafula. Bantu chichintu chali chashupa Northwestern yali kwatirimbi ba echechoro bayishire kwati baliro abantu ba Northwestern. Lero ndetotera lesa no kutotera abantu ba Northwestern, one Zambia, one nation konkanye pofye. Wewe ni omutima tuli bantu benu icho charo chenu ko gachaba develop nishina wonse fwe na Zambia tupinda tonse twakwatiramo ishuko bantu abantu bareteka bali bikirefe inemiti yakubula abantu of Western province ukuba bomfya no kulaba patanya kuba nabo bambi bakoba state bavoteri omuntu uli wonse echo ndero mbako nabaneso abakusaove na beno mpasho wa mushiro ubekirire pakoba kicharo cha Zambia nombapa chambyo kwendera pasuma ukwikatana no kusala lida wakwebati abantu bonse no chukura konka tribalism na shani chichintu ba ambassador chintu chikuru sana twetu atotera lesa paba leso aba Northwestern ukuchinja no kutubika mu direction firefe barandire fintu fikankara sana fika konka ba Brian Mundubire ukuchinji kemfumu no kuchinja polisi ama minerals yesu pakwebati ukumubuka leshara mu Zambia ndetotera sana kuri ba Northwestern ba ambassador cyo bakitire pantoro kwali bateta mashimba kwali ni fish pond nabaneso aba Northwestern bali fyaba kali kwemitima nombalesa abesura pamenso atawo mwe bantu bakwalesa kiteni fi epashiri pakureka ba Northwestern na imo ba Southern na ba Western kiteni abena Zambia wonse ofyo barechita pakweba ticharo chesu chambyo kwendera pasuma opona perera ambassador.
Thank you very much. I think I've got my dear sister from Kaputa. Mayo pacho abachisa bachila mitasha sana. Ati chibemba mulanda chali shikari onse bala sambidila. So mwabombeni.
Mtamukaina totela sana nani posha bonse mwewo pakumulaba soyu nabo bene ba shikulu bayama bandu beso bachilatasha ululimi olo awe shikulu achindi kwe mwine wandini amen
Amen.
Kwaina totela sana na inafika kukulanda kwechintu chimo Mwa North Western Province mwe bantu mwe ife abana bama civil servants mwe bantu mutwalelanda n'endimi 8 chifitundu cha North Western Province nekutinanda kwati bulongo mwane shikeni mwane mwakosa twaleyangala wonse kumayanda yama civil servants twapita muli kaunda twapita muli bachiluba ba mwana wasa ba rupia banda basata ba lungu and ba kainde pano chililelo Northwestern Province na Southern Province baba balwani bantunga shonse cha chalo cha Zambia mwe bantu bakwalesa mwe techibefyo chimpatinanya chaikele pakati kanshila bakainde embera yabo busheda ngwimwe bonse mwe na Zambia mukwangala kwenu mukusambirira kwenu temwa munapati muleyangala kusuku kubayichi mubwayichi kuli umnene umo amyewechi pali ulya futi ayaye baulya pali imwe uyo na wapa wasanga ubushikumo mulero mulemya ka 12-11 those things were very common in schools efya baba kainde bena baishimo kula ndefi bipali uyu ba mwewe fi bipali ulya mpaka uyu apata uya Southern Province nomba ile fokula umonati chalo just bali apata Northwestern West ati mo bali mirekeleshe na mfumata fa chitike but we thank God lesa yemwine wanka mashose myaka yonse ina ngubalekeshwa kwaiso buteko ubulela ndati China province ama natural resources aya abako nangu China constituency or district ama natural resources aya abako eyo bakala abonfya ukushishimuna obunonshi to revive the economy or the business ya muli yanchende takuli kuchitafe bank on one thing ati kano mukachite export copper ero mukabweshe chishi copper mwala ikisha ni export mukabweshe ama reserves shani pantu tamupo kana nguvu kumuna nguvu mokuli copper mubapera fe yonse basenda na fi Black Mountain yonse bali kunguba ero mulela ngati namukata ama reserves awe nachiluka ndebwe kala kuli ba Northwestern Province pakupokelela ba mundu bile fidyana ba tonse bonse indeed kuya twayatule undapwa lesa chindi kwe na ba Southern Province na imwe bene muri bantu besu twali ufyoko nalimye banifo bana kulu nchimunya bana kulu handobe so tetimule tontonka nyokwe bati muri batundu bambi ni mbela yabaka inde yakupatanya ifimwe fintu kuti walanda pamwelo lwine baleto lwa cyber bonse imwe mulela ndati baka inde nabasambirire chibembelero who cheated you baka inde bali pa University of Zambia pa Lusaka pa Great East Road campus hapo ichibemba pali achilalandwa nechinyanja bali ishibe fyonse fija pati umutima wawo tawali fo kulangisha tibalande chibemba you can't tell me atelo beshibe chibembeli ne baisa 5 years no kuti mwapusanya kona ba Makebi Zulu ichibemba ba Makebi bali ishiba but fe accent kuti ile mfuika ati apali waya nomba that's not what would make us say uyu muntu lulimi chinchi na chinchi nomba bena baliko shapo ne abako shapo kwishibe chibemba nokulapula kotu mapinda pakuti babe accepted ku Bembaland ba kainde bena Zambia he is very welcome ku Northern Province ku Wapula ku Copper Belt ku Central Province and everywhere but formula yabo iyakulaye baba ku Southern na ku Northwestern ubi bali pata imwe bala nichitefenefyo that's not good na totela sana ba Northwestern Province ifimwa chitechi chintu lesa chintu kwe tulef palama mkuingisha akakato akakulu mushina lafu Yesu Kristo nomba ulama ballots chasha ni ku Tanzania kwa bana mayo uliana mayo pa 24th October 2023 lintu ba PF imingala twebi yaterwe na mbao sampana chavinga kumlungushi kulia uliana mayo ali mchalo Mzambia so inaisha mchetekela ama elections yakwa ya mkonkerepo 2 years ago or a year ago mwalimu nefya fulumfuisha abantu kupepaya there is a video kumoko bali kuma conferences ya butungurushi bahakainde na balabe ne bana mayo katushinefe bale itepeleza fafine ma politicians they make friends balela ndefi ya butungurushi bwabo na lilolesha na aseka nati ukupanga ikibusana omuntu wipa ya abantu filya nangu ba president akainde baleti nati because we have Tazara kufika ku Dar es Salaam kulieko ituchita link kufime nshifingi kula kuli babemba kuishire chuma tabali ngiro kubutukila bwangu mkumu afu okuchitasweya baya mkuchitasukwa afu okuchitasweya omuntu uleipa yabantu apa buda nakakana ma opposition leaders yonse. Isn't this what Bakainde is doing? Ukukakila kumana a supporter of an idea ati yo tulefo ya ama observers ya polling station abesu na abana bubaka bikepo ati kamwikatenyo yo uli in charge of voter protection mwalichumfwa ku history yabene kaunda chirubamwa na wasa na kisafika pano hapo tudi uyona ube mula ndu wakubaye voter protection somebody sensitizing the others apope nini chichako saiwe kukuikata mwabena Zambia wake up uyo ine mulandi kufuire no kuba okutinjisha obute kutetife kiri kyonse bayikata omuntu bamukaka but bene chuma kyesonde bale kula tapali no winga kipenda indeke yali pa video ni yabuko ku airport ya god ba minister wabati yo nikopa yo mwali fake tushutu pio tunono bali talala tapabo waishiba so light yafu boko kumansa chafika pakabwe yadi haluba nga umuti wakutipatalo wali kufamu yabanani aboko kumakeni fyaliruba isintu isikulu imilandu yamusebanya iyakutinga ni kufyaloko kumabulaya mwaba bamwamba ababa president nga bali fumapo bali abene kunsoni because culture yabasunguko balanda abene ate am ashamed nomba ifwe twalipama nefubo ture twala fipantage awena tukwate kwa abantu bambi kuno kubebo kwe bati guys muwaisa kaibale betatu balumendo tubabikile pweli amipulu elimba tibane mwaisa balumendo kiteni kwe fya bulumendo noti vifimbi fya kuba tinaba munati naba kitefirubo bati ebale ikoseresha ubufi bonsi bane kawana balya bale bepafenga bashibo ubufi bakuba dikintu taifa kiri uyuma akfeso nyuma bamwikatirire ifo bale tonto bonapo imo mwe bantu bakwalesa iyo balela ndati voter protection kwena na bamwikata ulya umumendo lamba na bamwikata nomba kwena tabaikata emitima Yesu bonse tumane fyakapi ukuyayafwa ukulinda okupenda kwa yama votes limwana ni Gary Nkombo kulala fena panshi na ikala na kale pembelela lelo bali mufutukila umuntu waba committed filala kopeniko bena Zambia na tube kwa committed ngaba Gary Nkombo awe tatupa kwena twamlisa mfwe na totela sana bamwamba
Natasha Mayo, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba, Ambassador.
Yes, my dear brother. Yes. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes. Yeah, I'm calling in Kitwe. Yeah. Never kuchita any contribution.
Make your contribution.
Chantanshi ndifo kumitasha kumshitumuleko mbaya kuchinkola vena Zambia bonse. Lesa mipale konzo komuli. Number 2 ndetasha vene abantu bakusolwezi na vena Zambia bonse. Kanshi chachine fide balela ndoko bati awe nangu ninsoka yo tukavika po tukayivotera na filanga. So vena Zambia chentu twalirire kuikata na twachula. Abantu bachula mchalo. Takuli ati taxi driver, takuli ati bus driver, takuli ati ashitisho musalu abantu nabachula. Mwaya mkubomba mulewela fe. Chalo cha musango shani tafya chitikapo muli wa kaunda. Tafya chitikapo na muli wa bachulwana muli wa mwanawasa. Na wai molu chero kwa kunchito fuli wa sange cholefu anuma mzambi chintu fyazi fili kosera kofi. Awe batueto tela kulilesa pandulesa alitu wafa muli uno mwaka mwabafya shibesu ba mwamba. Lesa alitu wafa na votola chita kontinya soku pepa ukona ole chichimupashi. Ulatole mkuvoto kwe bati chichimupashi nshinachi fuafe completely. Lesa mipale ba mwamba.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you. We'll be taking the last 3 phone calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Isaac calling you from Sri Lanka.
Isaac, make your contribution.
My contribution is that we have seen how the people have demonstrated against tribe. And now we want to work together with our friends from all these 3 regions. And then the other thing is that these content creators, they are misleading the people like on Facebook when they say that we are going to work like the way Mr. Lungu was working now. Like our friend, this journalist Ken Dumbo, the way he's making up things is something else. But all in all, people have got eyes and we are seeing. So on that one, we really appreciate the Soloway's people, what they have done, and we are happy. And we need just to guide our vote.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Yeah, hello, caller. Caller, you've muted yourself. Caller, you've muted yourself. Hello, caller. You've muted yourself. Oh, the caller didn't know that he has muted himself. We are taking the last few calls before we close the broadcast until we see you in the morning. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Hello?
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 Mwamba.
We can hear you.
Oh, I'm through.
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you. First, this is from Livingston.
Yes, Wamwewa. Long time. No, we missed you. Landenipo.
Best ndefo posha kwa Mazambian bonse parikano kashita. Tulipakashita kasuma sana ba Mwamba. Now I want to comment something that I've liked my elections. Also commenting from the aspect of being a candidate. I'm aware that I'm contesting as a member of parliament.
In Livingston, Mkwai.
And another PUP, yeah. So there's one observation I've made, but this was my prayer area. Issue ya mpia. Ama campaigner ya. Tamuru rupia ama campaigner. Though it's very heavy to the part of candidates. But on the other hand, I think if you want to present wakaindo kwati but pere pressure ya kuchita organize but pere pressure ya kutoka political parties, they thought that these guys are not going to have money and they are not going to manage to campaign. But it's a blessing in disguise because for me, I've been looking forward to a period where former Zambians, former Zambians, to funding a campaigns, yes, so that we don't have anyone who should come and kututinya no na rimi sponsor to pay any money yako pay na rimi sponsor to pay any fee. So election if I say I think it's a blessing to this country because we are not just going to get political freedom, we're also going to get economical freedom because we have no one to be following us. I think this is one thing each arenga na UPND should be governing each other. It's because aba bafuroko batwese mu bufumu ma outsiders. So ro bayingire mpawa UPND ma outsiders bari fu echo machawo echo babombesha. Now on this one na Brian Mundwe na Makebizuru, I think maybe if they have used the resources they could be there, but I think in for team no regalia. Because very incapacitated to in terms of resources. So it's a blessing. And now the other thing is that now, if you take a peer, if you feel it to Zambians to run the elections, yes, too. I think no Tawaiseba EU, Tawaiseba AU, Tawaiseba Shan. The Frefida Mamba Moran that whatever of them Kutamba ground they can't do anything. Okay? They will just write what they have seen. But in terms of water protection, it is a responsibility of us Zambians. Now, the problem in Mwamba. For example, when I sat down to calculate how much I need to protect my votes in my constituency, it ended almost to 350,000 kwacha. Now, in this kind of economy, where can a candidate find that kind of money? And I'm sure this is the situation everywhere. Candidates. For someone to organize, for example, in 69 polling stations, and this polling station I need about 2. I'm checking my votes, but once bara for echuma, bara for rupia. At least allowance I carry the kuri. But the situation on the ground is that takuli rupia, and it will be difficult to sanga no rupia or kuripira polling agents. So this is where I'm making a plea to Zambians to say, "Ama elections yes so." Ukuri kuponze kwa tulijeni vetu itumpe tombe kupango mabumba tushita identify ama polling stations. Ngapata identify ama polling stations. Tuchita identify abantu abavotera popeni. Tombe kubata organize abantu through talking fe. Takobo kutira turi wonse ninsa mbusha kwa batashite protect ama votes. Adama polling stations ngamamo nife bata distribute yabakuri yabera kulo uko abampepi n'abantu. Barabe n'abantu bekala kulya. Bekalolera kuri ba eyo muri abasungumu. Ngavoto muntu ayemini na pansi. Ambo kulolera era ina mamitezi bapenda. Ambo kulolera kwa bakati. Ishtanga ambe ya kupenda. Kumo refresh tikabuno wino. So for me what I'm saying is that urupira wakulipira margins takwabe. In this kind of way according to my election that we are in. But it's a good thing because for Zambians to don't delay am votes to our voter. Which are covered to protect.
Mwamba, thank you very much, and we wish you well in your campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Mwamba Mwabombeni.
Ndita Mwabombeni.
Na totela sana padi program yesu. Icha kuwera pa Mwamba ine defo kunkanya fi kuli bamwe ku Livingstone. Once na tuishibo kwe bati indra mala shishupa badi chikalamba tunala lomba kuli bamwewa na makandidate bonse. Icha kubalira po festi le basende if ya kusira ko monitor ama documents from ICZ. Bamwewa are making sure that he has organized almost 140 polling and the assistant agents at each polling station, which is to first of all what ama documents ama ID na shonse frefwa ikwa. If you andalama le somuine ala isho mwala fipisisha. Ichikala mbavesi bamwewa ngamule umfwa. Livingstone abambi ama aspiring candidates aba mu opposition na ma independent. Be monata tifinda la mesha la bomba. First let them identify the people. Wenda baya basendela ama accreditation ama document nations bakwata if yakusira komonda ma election. Then we can now look for the resources. If we na tuatangisha kwenda la mapantanshi na time ya kwa tusende ama documents ya kusira monda ma election twala sangwa ni shani yapwa ichikalamba first send in ama documents that you make sure each polling station na mkwata monitor na polling agents bonse povali. That is very important. Then in Darama le somu ineta mwishibelesa yesha ala tupangira in the next 2 weeks kuti liminda mashamoneka limbiwambi kuti bamwewa afyo omuntu ami umfilo lusiba mwewa 100,000 bamwewa 50,000 uwe MP we 10,000 mwamwana mwachitana monitor ma election. So poseni kwa mano kuti musende ama document. Ita number 2 left church tika ku northwestern ivo foma kulila Copper Belt ku Gateway twalisho fo twaikala takwabo mutundu takwabo kusala tupanafye efe wake muntu mulabonse kusukulu twali muchimwemwe twali ukamitondo kukwacha kumindolo kumiseshi kuisa konse kugana toni kutwatasha kukamati pakuti when you look about all these shanty company konse you go to Mufulila and everywhere tupanafye nomba abashe ingira ma politics ya Zambia tabakwete a proper understanding of Zambian politics na bantu shobeka la Zambia That's why vale foku bonfya relationship kumula kwati ewo vendeka tila kwa abantu bunkole ku Northwestern. Ila relationship ishikwete prophet. Ulefo kupo mwana kashota ulefuika, taule sunga, taule muafwa. Badolo itafe kremu ati umuka shwanti. Na alimutemwa badi tapale chole mchitila. Efi alengile waka hinde ichilema. Bale foku mwana relationship yabo na abantu abaku Northwestern kumula kwati bala babonfya. Bakola bonfya fe any relationship, but those people are not benefiting anything. Bala bokobati bala abantu balya. Kulila bengi. The route to Lusaka and Copper Belt actually Solwezi is number 2 to Copper Belt. So there is a very big influence of the Copper Belt and Lusaka into Solwezi because of the mining. Now, Waka Inde, Bakulile Southern Province, sorry Shile Tukana, Bakulile Waisapa University. He has never experienced life in Copper Belt. Tabafi Shive. Bakwete fe ideolojia kale ya mutundu ya kubatinga nakula inenga upila kumushukumia Yesu tabaishibo kwebati ukutemwa afye mwaikala bonse. So that's why mama mwena wa church chadi bashupa sana. When he's in Northern Block, he speak a different language. Ngavaya fye babukakuja kumyabo. Mwanefifu wale ba former minister of local government Bagari Nkombo. Efi wala nde ila wedi wa umfishepe Bagari Nkombo na wanina. Na mawanta wala andapo. Leader ule ito muntu atinevo church elder. Ila wafyashi wandi wali nuba chimpempe. Iniluwapula wa 7th day tubetati wa chimpempe. Takwa wo muntu wa 7th day ula andafiria. Na wa 7th day na bekala. Aya na mkista officiate conference yama youth kula kulusaka ayinywa na kuntaishi abalesa twila musheteka nomba lese fya bataishi bati bala bantu abaku Northwestern bale mutamba similar even the people from Western province na bena elo bakwa abantu abachenjela mu Zambia elo ntwale sambira abachenjela baku Western province ba church vela mona kuti he can hold to ransom the people of Western province. Mwala munefala stika Western province, it will be even more worse than even what has happened in Northwestern. In Southern province, alafoku babonfya aliwekata unkwelo kuweko kwebati ine ngatakuli ine tapalesho mukava mukachula. It's like church has make himself Alpha and Omega at the beginning and end. No banala wa church kwebati kwali the first president of African National Congress wa Nkumbula. There are a lot of people in the Southern province. There is Nkumbula, Benamainza Chona, we can mention Abantu Abengi. When we came to MMD, there were a lot of Rudrik Shima Ponda, Frederick Yapunda, the late Axon Sejani, Vincent Malambo. You can mention a lot of people who have worked in the government. Nomba ena alefoku bomfya abantu ba Southern province kubekata bunkole echo tulelomba ko fema ba mulamu bantu tumafo ba Southern province buke ni omuntu ale ni bomfya Zambia twalite mwana na te tatu patanye church afrefye alande fefya bomba efya ale bombera abantu era nga ya Southern province ati mundu bile na makebi nga baisa kunomuka bapokelele lwenu ile ndi mwana wenu takwabo mutundu mu Zambia umutundu mwina Zambia ishindi mitulanda feshi shaku putaika fye mwene wa mwambe futu afumine kukola. If you look about the tribes in Zambia, 75% of the tribes in Zambia, they're all from Kola Foundation. So watupata nyashani. The only people abafumine kumbi bakabuala na bangoni. But when you look about all the tribes starting from Eastern Province, Muchinga, Northern, Luapula, Northwestern, part of Southern Province, those people they came from Kola. So to Mapatanya Shan. So you muntu, Takudilasha Wino, one or Quatorum Patila Tabasha Wino, Tafila Vana President Mozambia, Tequeva Natumupata, Natuma President. I would love somebody from Southern Province become the president because I want to work Southern Province, the hard workers, the good people, Tabalomba. Even me, the people who inspire me to be the way I am, they are people from Southern Province. But the current leader we have, Taba wino. That's why I'm asking my brothers and sisters from Southern Province to imushita shield yawe. Nganaru fianya. Just like others who have come out in Southern Province. Kuma Fatai, my brother, we gave you the chance. We have failed. We are going to try others. Thank you, Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's take the calls and let's see if we can begin to wind up. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I would like to remain anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. For me, I agree with the previous caller and his sentiments towards our current president. I also grew up on the Copper Belt and understand. I actually came to know most of my friends that they were from other regions later in life. But anyway, that's besides the point. What I just want to urge for everyone, even for UPND, is just to both Tonse and UPND, that as they go around in this, as they wind up on their thing, I will urge them just to, at least on those big screens, just to show their electorates on how they're supposed to vote, so that we don't have a scenario where we have a lot of votes that are discarded, like you mentioned. I think it's the opportunity for them to start using those screens for them just to show people on how to vote. I think that's my contribution. I'd like to hear other people's or your take on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Thank you. It's been a while. This is Matthew.
Matthew, make your contribution.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. We are suffering, and we are suffering. You know, I think some point I was worried when I was Kushantumbu. I saw Vakateka Vaisa Kuyakulari. The way he was, bringing my trucks, like it was very shameful. Although I couldn't make a screenshot. People are being transported. It was very shocking. Even when you see the trucks, I was even laughing. My old model trucks. This is the kind of the campaign Vakateka, President Hakainde, the way he's believing himself at his people, his popularity background, but he's finished, he's gone. I'm very worried about the behavior where he's having this campaign Okunalari, but transporting abantu from the different places. I think this is not right. Bangawona now, if they're having campaign, it's just genuine. People, they flock with them in their own. They're just coming within the area. That's my worry. That's the manipulation that we've seen background, Kuno. Then secondly, again, I was trying to follow up to say that one day, please bring your GBM to Kawaoneko. From the time he came from the prison, it's been quiet. We don't know if the man is well. We are worried because that one is our pillar in this country, Zambia. We need to see if he's okay. If he's not okay, then we should know at least. Otherwise, I'm very worried about these two things. Second, I think what I was trying to say is also Mwamba. There is campaign going on in Zambia, but there is no money, there's nothing. Even our UPND, they can testify on this folder. It's just like not even water, not even a sachet, nothing. People are going back home. I, as my driver, I'm the one even helping in transporting them. I say, you are our cousin, but make a right choice. Make a right decision, please. They are suffering, these guys, but I don't know what makes them even up to there. They are self-staying body 2019. No. These things should now be legal because, they are suffering, these guys. One of the guys was even boasting Mobas, but I was very shocked finding him in shop. He was even referring to Bayamasuya Chanksi. This is a factual. As we don't lie, we speak the truth, what we see background. Zambia is in the messy. 3 days, 4 days from now, we are going to have a showground. But us as the transporters, the drivers, I'm telling you the truth, we're not going to make even a single coin. People are walking. They'll be just walking. kwenda chikomene kuja kushogera ndabana manama chabwerera. We have nothing as it is for now apart from Cuba. Like our youth chairman, I'm very worried. How can someone in 5 years becoming a billionaire, building such kind of asset? That's a very shameful. And yet they are keeping on accusing the previous regime that was corrupt, and they know themselves that these are mafia. These are dangerous people in this country, Zambia. You cannot become rich in 5 years to have those assets. Even a teacher, even a police officer, even somebody who has worked in the government for many years can't have such kind of asset, even including TB Josh from Nigeria, can't have such kind of things. My late prophet, the one God has taken to be with, whatever. No, it's not right. These people, they should just be real, not to us in Nam. And they want to worry by their last corrupt people on this earth, in this ground. Otherwise, I'm very disappointed with these guys when they are doing things. And lastly, Mwamba please, na Thomas Paro, you are means of Rumia Kumnaya, Zira Manning in Aev, Kapanam Disafcha, Naev, Afunica, and Abrem and Zim, Katingutava, Tret, and the Mozo Musha. Masiparo enzo kwera mushamusha muntu zara mukoda background but tunano poa wake manja papana likutika something kapamenda lidi manja. So otherwise that's my contribution, but I'm very much upset with these guys the way they are ruling affairs of this country Zambia. They are very good into manipulating people, and lying is not good. You know, when someone is lying like they are lying, it means it's a Lucifer. It's a devil spirit. They should always learn to be truthful. Where they failed, they should tell us that we failed because of the not keeping on lying and lying and lying. And last, those our sisters and our brothers who are still supporting this bill, please, you have to care for your children. You have to care for the future of your children and their children, and their children. Because if we mess up with this country today, definitely all of us, including our children and their children, they will suffer like I don't know. These guys are looters. Thank you so much, Ambassador. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Yeah, hello, caller. Oh, the caller is calling, but they've muted themselves. Let's see if they can pick the call. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I'm anonymous. I'm calling from Ndola.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
Yes, I'm also on voter education, educating people how to vote. You know, Mwamba, there's one time I read something on Facebook. Somebody was saying, "Ngatamule mufwaya kule mbapo X, ngamule mufwaya mwachonga pofi." So that's why I think I'm so much worried about people being educated on how to vote. Nanguri nevare pangisha ama campaigns. I think vare kwa bantu ati X kubikapa, you know, because vambi abantu tabaishibo kulemba and ndimbikishishi venga, you know, and anything can happen, you know. So iye akwebata abantu baleba bepa nali mfuleko nakale yali chitike kwa jaba mumishi baleba batingatamule mfwaya kubikapo X nishitamule mfwaya mwamutobesha. So abantu bafire babe educated on how to vote. That I submit.
Thank you very much. Yes, I've heard about that lie where they keep on telling them that in the end they vote for Ichilema. Adingatamule mfwaya mwabika po X. Elonga mule mfwaya mwabika po mwamuchonga. In the end, that means that voter will only vote for Ichilema. So we have to be very careful and continue to teach our people. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
No, I'm not here. I forgot something.
I'm quiet.
Yeah, something that I can't. Yeah, and I also heard it from one caller who complained quite a lot. Vakeni badumbo, vakeni. Whenever vakeni, ngamule umfatata. I think you have to forgive yourself. Sure, vakeni kuti mwalala ndo mwaya putula video. Yeah. Ba makebi ba president mwalala ndokwe bati balera ndokwe bati atuka welele kuli PF mufuire mwayo mfwa yose program ba makedi bale bakoti fiko bale kuri PF imitengo shaliko bwino yeba imwe ba kendumbo mule kwata kwensoni isoni ebuntu mukase kwa imwe ba kendumbo era nombo kwisabika pola bachulifya tayari is a failure, 100% failure, and you cry and you lick the soil.
Thank you very much. Thank you, our dear listeners and viewers. We'll see you in the morning when we do what the paper say. We'll be dealing with what the paper say in the next few hours. So let's end the program now. Thank you for your contribution, and we'll see you in the morning.
Tonda nadi Nchito ni kuyoboya waka Vila izgo vyose vya waka waka Kusuzgika kwa kura mwe bantu mwe Nadi nadi Hakainde watondeka nadi Watondeka Hakainde watondeka nadi Watondeka Hakainde watondeka nadi Watondeka Hakainde watondeka nadi Watondeka Hakainde watondeka Akainde watondeka nani? Watondeka. Akainde watondeka nani? Watondeka. Tiletelani nyali kuno kukaya Alundazi Box one kanele Mundubile na munyake make bibiza Na mama Abrenda Nyirenda Simbi za Jelemani Hakainde luta luta Watondeka